Hello and welcome back, I guess. I don't really know how to start this. I don't really do videos like this, but yeah, we hit 100 subs. Thanks. So, I figured I'd now this is definitely a video that at some point in the future I am also going to have to update because I guarantee this video will not always be the most up-to-date thing, I guess is the best way to say it. As, of course, as I keep making videos, my style is going to change, as is my process, but I want to go towards 100 subs. How I go about making my Let's Plays is, well, it's just some small personal things I do. So this is unscripted if that's not obvious. But yeah, no, I figured I'd just talk about how I make videos, some, like, personal policies, I guess, when it comes to how I make my videos and stuff like that. And to celebrate hitting 100. But without any further ado, as you can see, I'm gonna toss on some Mario Galaxy, because that's what I was, playing. It's the only thing I was playing that that I wasn't at a spoiler-heavy point. And also, I almost finished my second playthrough of Engage. Fire Emblem. But, yeah, no, let's just get started. So, the first process is picking a game, and, yeah, this is honestly kind of the hardest part, is deciding on games that I want to do next. Because that's where it all starts, picking a game. And this is probably, as I said, maybe not the hardest part, but it's one that kind of takes a lot of time, because first off, I don't like doing Let's Plays of games in the same series too close together unless they very much, like, depend on each other to finish a story. Like, if it's two parts to a single story, that, like, I don't really have a good example of a game I actually have for this, so it's not going to happen anytime soon, but one that does kind of come to mind is, like, the Digital Devil Saga games. If I had those, or if they get remade, whatever, those are games that I would totally do back-to-back as just kind of one Let's Play, as they are very much kind of intertwined, I guess, for lack of better way to say it. You really are kind of expected to play them one after another. One sec. Okay, we're back. But yeah, that's kind of the game where you're kind of, I would be playing those back to back, but I don't have those anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, for that reason, it can actually get kind of difficult, and it's also kind of on me is that, like, how many Let's Plays is enough Let's Plays for another game of the same series? Because, like, and it also, I also need to pick games based on what I'm actively interested in at the time, because I kind of have to work with my motivation. Because if I'm really into a series, I would not always, but I tend to get really into one series at a time. Like, when I'm playing in Etrian, I kind of get really into Etrian, and that makes it a good time to research stuff for Etrian Odyssey. Or, another example is, it makes it, like, if I'm playing Xenoblade, it's a good time to do Xenoblade stuff. If I'm playing a Maya game, maybe research a Maya Let's Play. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting the footage right after, that's why you're hearing Switch menu noises, because behind this is just my Switch menu, and I'm kind of just labeling things on the screen. Anyway. So yeah, that's kind of just where it all begins, and then the next thing is picking a version, which, this one's, I've not had any problems, and I will continue not have problems for at least a little while, because generally there's either a definitive version, and because my process for weaving out versions is, first off, weave out any of the ones I do not have. This tends to leave me with one option. If it's not, then I kind of like go through the pros and cons of each. If it's a Pokemon situation, I'll kind of do a Let's Play on both. But there kind of won't be a Pokemon situation because I'm just gonna say now, all of the games that have multiple versions that I am currently capable of Let's Playing, because I don't have 3DS capture cards, so those games are out. And all of the Switch ones I either do not like enough, or Scarlet and Violet, or like I don't like them enough to Let's Play. There's only one version of the game, so I don't have to worry about that. Because, if nothing else, spin-offs remain good. Or it's Scarlet and Violet, where I do really like the game enough that I would Let's Play it, but it's broken and doesn't work. So I wouldn't Let's Play it for that reason instead. Because I can't wholeheartedly recommend that game. Because, yeah. Another thing is, I also only pick games that I both like and think are good. Because those are not two things that necessarily will intersect. First off, Scarlet and Violet. Just mentioned those. But also, like, Paper Mario Origami King. I love that game. It is not good. Like, it is objectively a bad game, and I agree with that opinion, despite the fact that I do like it. So, yeah, don't expect that game to ever get remade as a Let's Play. The one I already did is all that's gonna happen. And even then, I think I, like, missed an island of Toads at some point. So, like, I have one island, so I didn't even get all the Toads like I thought I did in that Let's Play. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Because, yeah, choosing the version is generally very easy, because I don't exactly have tons of versions in most of the games that I do have multiple versions. I kind of just, there is a definitively better one. Like, and even still. And even the ones that don't have a definitive version, like, I guess Donkey Kong Country Returns I can use, because I have all 3 versions of that game, actually, despite thinking, like, I do like it. It's just not but it's not like a favorite. The power of gifts. But, like, the 3DS version is kind of, yeah, its visuals are probably the worst, but it has the best. But it has all of the full content. My understanding is the remake has the full, like, special world instead of special level that unlocks this post-game. Whereas the Wii U only has the one special level, but it looks the best, even after HD. So, like, I have that to go through when deciding as well. But I can't record the 3DS version, so that's out of there. And I generally, when it comes to visual versus content, I almost always pick the version with the best most content, unless it's not good. Which, like, I don't have Platinum to Let's Play it, and as I said, I can't do that, but, like, well, actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Platinum does have more content than BDSP. Why am I getting off topic of Pokemon? Yeah, I probably should have scripted this. Anyway, that's just the first step, though. Picking a game. And yeah, there is a lot, actually, to that process. I kind of just pointed over it poorly, but I did. So, yeah, just to summarize that, picking what I believe is the best version available to me, because that is a very, very important distinction, because, yeah. And also, just picking the game itself, so I'm not, like, so I don't have, like, because, like, I gotta work for motivation, but also, if I have, like, 50 Mario LPs ready and nothing else, I'm not going to have a good mix of content, which is kind of like what I'd like to do with my Let's Plays. Not including collabs, which I'll touch on that at later. Hey, I'm adding this later on, but on the like how I pick games, there's also I generally do, and like I'm doing this after recording the entire rest of the video, but I forgot to mention this. So yeah, in addition to everything I mentioned, I generally do games with a priority order, and that priority order tends to be canonical, intended play order. If there is one that is dead up intended, then I do that first. Then it's chronological, and chronological is only skipped if it is super not important, like with The Legend of Zelda. Where pretty much everything is a standalone game with a couple of exceptions, and those exceptions will still follow the rules of, I will, like, for example, if I was going to do an Ocarina of Time Let's Play and the Majora's Mask would happen second, assuming I was going to do Ocarina, because I have not gone through that game yet. And I do have the DS remake, but I haven't actually, like, fully played through it yet. But either way, that's kind of not the point. And then finally, it's numbered order. So, for instance, up until Xenoblade 3, the Xenoblade games, you can play those in any order. The same goes for, like, Persona as well. Like, well, technically they can happen chronologically / at the same time. You can kind of play this in any order, so generally I go in number order. If I ever do a Persona Let's Play, though, I am definitely not going in order of numbers. Holy flip, am I not doing in numbers for that series? If I do games of that series, which I might do Let's Plays of that series someday, not anytime soon, though. I must say now, Freeze happening last. If you know how Personas are summoned in that game, you know why. Because if I ever do those games, it's either going to be 4, which remakes rumors, which are borderline confirmed, but not 100% confirmed, because it's also possible that, because like one of the voice actor for Yosuke in that game mentioned that he would not be coming back for the remake. However, if you think about it a little more, or like that could also be taken as not being able to come back, not being taken back, could also mean there is no remake. Because it can't come back for something that isn't happening. But I might eat my words by the time this video is out, because a lot can happen in a week. Holy flip, a lot can happen in a week. But that's not the point. So like, for that one, whereas Persona 5 is obviously the popular one, it's a lot heavier though, whereas Persona 4, while it is rated M, it's a game I could see be rated T if you did like small changes. Like, it would not take a ton to make it not M, at least, and it might be me like forgetting things that exist. Like 1% would obviously have to go, and if you know those games, you know which one, but that's not the point. And yeah, things like that can also like happen. And another example is Xenoblade X, where until I played Chapter 13, I didn't know when I would do that. When I played Chapter 13, it tied into the main game, whereas it was completely separate before. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that one last. But, yeah, there's a lot of those little things as well that I didn't mention. But, I'm gonna give it back to my slightly past self, and by slightly past, I mean, like, at most half an hour ago anyway. See ya! Okay, so, the game's full. I've successfully managed to figure out what game I want to do. Oh, so what's next? Notes. Yeah, definitely something I need to get better with, checking between cuts instead of on camera. I'm not gonna lie, that's one flaw I definitely have. Anyway, that aside, yeah, note-taking is the next step. And what this means can vary on game to game. First off, I generally get a general summary of like, okay, here's what this character can do. Here's what this character is capable of, like for an RPG, for example, since I do a lot of those. Here's what this character is capable of doing when they join in this, like, roughly going over, like, side quests and plots and stuff. I'll generally put side quests in the order they first, like, come up and go in, like, chronological order of the story, so I can just kind of go down a lot of time. As generally I put this all in the Google Doc. Then generally at the end I put extra things like unused content, generally from the cutting room floor. But it can occasionally come from other sources, but it's mostly cutting room floor. That is definitely the place to go if you want to learn about unused content in games. But yeah, notes generally are the longest part of the process of getting ready for Let's Plays. And they generally don't happen alone. Generally happening at the same time as my note-taking, which, as I said, there's a variety of things that go into that. Like, for instance, for Fire Emblem, I've been going, like, chapter-based, and I'm saying Fire Emblem Engage now because it's not going to be ready anytime soon, but I've been very open about how much I like the game, given that I'm on my second playthrough already, and I'm not going to jump into a third, but, like, it's been very fun. So, yeah, it's no secret that I'm going to do a Let's Play of that game. So, like, for example, for that game, I've been going chapter by chapter. Here's the character, personal skill, ropes in each stat. And then if they have an exclusive class, going over those details as well. Which, eventually I'll need to revisit in another path, which we'll get to later. Because at the same time as my note-taking is the test playthrough. These are only happening side by side, so I have, like, what's going on fresh in my mind, so I'm not making as many mistakes. And also to actually make sure I'm going to enjoy the Let's Play and be able to get it done in a timely manner. Instead of really not wanting to record, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I got no video started. Which, we'll get to that later as well. Because, yeah, test playthrough is generally, I don't do everything I do in the Let's Play. Generally, it is going through the game and going through a few key things that are very important. I haven't been doing a test playthrough for Engage because I've been just playing the game again. I'll probably do that test playthrough closer to actually doing that Let's Play. Because, yeah, sometimes test playthroughs get moved around. Sometimes I'm playing the game again anyway, so I don't need a test playthrough because I'm already playing the game. However, test playthroughs almost always happen before a Let's Play. It is very rare that I do not do a test playthrough, and it is even rarer that I don't even. And generally, if I do, it's because I've played the game enough that I know I'm going to enjoy my time going through it. For example, Miitopia. That game did not get a test playthrough for that very reason. And I feel like I had a fair few stories, but I don't really remember off the top of my head. And if I might just be misremembering though. Because yeah, that's kind of another thing. I also do test playthroughs to get extra stories for funny things fresh in my brain before a Let's Play can happen. Doesn't always work out, but it's always fun when it does. And I get, like, funny stories, which I'll just say, yeah, I got a few funny ones for Let's Play that is not next. I don't even know if it'll be the one after, but it's funny. Yeah, anyway. Not the point. Well, kinda is the point. So yeah, that's the next thing I do in my process. Playing through a game again, just to make sure I'm going to enjoy my Let's Play of that game, which, yeah. As for the next part of the process, we have come to not editing, actually. Any extra stuff. Stuff like bios. Of which there is none outside of the under-researched Dragon Quest Let's Play. That I made back when I first played that game. Don't worry, that game will get a proper... I'm doing that again, but better at some point. As well. But, yeah, a lot of... I do like bios for characters. Obviously, like, this is something, like, it's kind of no secret. And, like, yeah, anyway. But, generally, I do these just with as much information as I can without an absolute overload. Or without giving plot spoilers, which I do my best to. Sometimes I feel like I probably could, well, I don't know why I'm saying that. I could not, because I didn't do them. Except for one. So I don't know why I'm saying I could do better when I've done two. Because, yeah, next game has them. Finally, I know. But... yeah, getting that stuff ready ahead of time is something I also need to do. Before anything else happens. That is probably most important, one of the most important parts after research, is actually probably getting that ready. Because that's how I'm going to present information on party members. And hey, look, I do a lot of RPGs. Now, of course, how I do it will depend from game to game. And also, I'm just going to say that's another reason I don't want to do many Pokemon Let's Plays. But, this is slowly turning into me, dunking off Pokemon while talking about things. And not even, like, I mean, like, yeah, kind of is perfect in some respects, but not the point. Yeah, I probably should have scripted this, but oh well, too late now. Because I'm just gonna move on to the next part of, like, because there's not really much to say on this. It's just the thing I do that's most important. Getting any bios and stuff made ahead of time so they're ready to go with the Let's Play. As well as maybe double checking my notes and making sure I'm not missing anything as the Let's Play gets closer to being ready. And now what you've kind of been waiting for, and I'm going to composite these next two, recording and editing, because yeah, first off, recording, I genuinely record videos in batch. Generally, I'm doing like 3 or 4 videos at a time. Sometimes a lot more, like 5, 6, 7. Like, it can get pretty high, the amount of videos I make in single setting. And that is actually kind of important for keeping up the daily upload schedule I do when and not in the editing break between videos. And in fact, recording's absolutely my favorite part, because that's when I'm like all my hard work is paying off and I'm getting stuff done. And yeah, I'm generally recording during my breaks, air quote, because the break is less so for recording for the most part, and more so for editing. Because editing is a very important part that I'm working on getting better at, but it's also, and like, I want to get better at that, because like, when I do it properly, I enjoy it. It's just kind of that issue of doing it properly. Yeah, and yeah, I don't think it's a secret. I've kind of been struggling with that, especially the Minecraft LP that we just came off of. That's probably honestly my worst case of actually not doing editing properly, and I'm not going to do that again. And for what's coming up for the next LP, because I am going to do my best to do that one properly. Yeah, the way it deserves, and yeah, but yeah, that's the main reason for my break is editing. And I won't always shout out like the editor I use because it's not great. Pretty much any free editor would do just as good a job as what I use. As for recording, however, that I will shout out. It's OBS, which I mean, it's not really a secret. I've mentioned it multiple times, especially during the collabs, when it doesn't like working. But yeah, OBS. That is the recording software I use. It's open source. It's great. It's really good for making stuff. I won't go too far into equipment because I record on a laptop with a like budget capture card and just just a pair of headphones that have a mic. It isn't super fancy or even really all that interesting to go over, so I'm not going to do it because like I am not using the cutting edge stuff by any means. So I'm not gonna go into that because quite frankly anything can work. I will say, if you are not old enough that if you are young enough that you have to live with your parents, like kids, don't just start a YouTube channel randomly. I'm going to say that now. I know not everyone's gonna listen, and me acknowledging that you're not going to listen is not an excuse for you to blame me. But yeah, this is most of a video just to like go over how I do things. This isn't like, so like, I'm just gonna say, hey, to the younger viewers watching, stay safe. Don't do this without permission. Anyway, back to where we are going, what we're doing. Because yeah, after I'm done editing, I set things up to upload a week after, as I record edit all my videos a week in advance. I record well in advance. And I'm struggling to remember what I was just going to say. Oh yeah, and then, like, YouTube Studio, set all that stuff up. Another thing I had to set up at the beginning of every Let's Play is the end screen, which I always use something from the game for the end screen. As I just kind of, like, in general, some games it will change, like, it's common that I use the title screen when, for the outro thing. That is a very common thing that I do, or like main menu, or main town, some games, like Etrian Odyssey. I know I'm talking about that a lot, but I actually I'm only at best halfway through that next one. But that's not the point. I guess I have Etrian on the brain from what I've been watching on my own personal time, because I also do that. That's another thing that's not really conscious, but so much subconsciously watching other Let's Plays to take note. What can I do better? What do they do that I think I would like? What do I not like from the videos that I don't want to do? Stuff like that. Just passively. It's not, I don't really do it consciously. It's just kind of, ooh, that's nice. I should try that in my next thing. And so on. But, with that, I think that's my full process done, which, yeah, it's not a super long or complicated process, which is why we're also talking about other things on how I do stuff. First off, just some personal things I do. I already mentioned I don't like doing games from the same series in a row. And I don't, like, not anymore at least, because, yeah, I also kind of want to go over how my style evolved, because for those of you who don't watch terrible garbage recording quality, would not have seen my older videos, which I have all in one playlist on the playlist is public. The videos are unlisted, because not so much because I'm ashamed of them. They've aged poorly, but that's because the content, because that's because the quality doesn't exist for the most part, and I don't want that to be anyone's like first exposure to my content. And like some of those are still up that use that recording style, because I didn't have my capture card yet when I started the series, but when I ended, but it did like not long into it. Like those still are up fully public. Otherwise, it's all in that one playlist, which it exists. I really don't recommend going to that, because the quality doesn't exist. There is no quality in those videos, but if you're really interested, they are still up via that playlist. Other than that, like back in those times, I did things very differently, because the first system I did for my Let's Plays was particularly broken. I would do a different Let's Play for every day of the week, which for variety's sake, is very good. But it also means I'm posting 7 different series all at the same time. Yeah, you can see the issue. And it was also a terrible idea, because like not everyone was gonna be like, because it meant like, yeah, maybe it meant I was supposed to be posting weekly for 7 different audiences, some of which would be more than that, but most of which would not care about everything I was doing. So that was like inherently not wise. I also meant just had to follow like one series, because you'd only get 1 new episode a week if I was doing things properly, because it wasn't uncommon for me to just do like 3 videos one day and none another. Not to mention that at that time I didn't re-upload videos, so there was no upload schedule either. Like it didn't go out at a set time. It's just, here's a video, blah blah blah. Just in like, it's just when it was done, okay, it published. Just here's the title, here's put it in the playlist, go publish it. I didn't even bother with descriptions at the time, which like is another thing I need to work on, but still. And yeah, it also led to a lot of Let's Plays like, I'm gonna do this next, and then I changed the system, and those Let's Plays didn't happen, because yeah, instead of giving hints from the next Let's Play, I just get upset what I was intending to do, which was inherently stupid on its own. So that was the first Let's Play system I did. That was a terrible idea. And the second one was not much better, because, in fact, it might have been worse of a system for how I did my Let's Plays, because I did one Let's Play per gaming console I owned and had a way of recording semi-well. Because, yeah, that meant I was doing 4 Let's Plays at a time, so it was at least, in theory, like, it was less to juggle, and in theory would mean you were getting more of what you wanted to see. In practice, not at all, because I would just, like, because I was doing 4 things at a time, and keep in mind, at this time, I was using my phone to record the screen instead of proper capture card like I do today. Because at that time, there was 4 Let's Plays. One for the PS4, one for the Switch, one for the Wii U. Or not the Wii U, the Wii. I do have a Wii U. I will hopefully do Let's Plays at some point, but I'm not quite... I don't quite have a setup for that good to go, so... Yeah, not yet. And then one for the 3DS, because at the time I couldn't record 3DS because I wasn't using a capture card anyway, so I didn't have to care about quality. Because there was none anyway. And, yeah. And there was a lot of that too. So, like, I had 4 different things going. Like, no, that literally was it, because there was one on each console. And then, so that went for a little while. That was probably the shortest lived system, though, because soon after, I went to the next thing where I'd only do 2 Let's Plays at a time. Which probably was the best system, and, like, but both it and the one Let's Play per console had a giant drawback of, yeah, now I was working on less stuff, but I also didn't have a structure to keep one Let's Play going at a regular pace, so you could have situations where, like, Let's Play 1 was at episode 100, and the other one was still at 1, despite, or, like, on, like, 10 at the same time. Like, not actually, because I've only done 100+ episode series as of right now. And then I did slightly fix it with the 2 Let's Play system, where I would do 1 long Let's Play, 1 shorter Let's Play, where I do 2 episodes of one and then 1 of another of the other, or like go back and forth. And it was something I probably would have done if I kept it up without having particularly long Let's Plays. It's always going on. But that's when Dragon Quest was happening. So yeah. That wasn't great either as a system for how I made Let's Plays, but it was getting better. And then we got to where I am today, where I do 1 Let's Play continuously till the end, and then 2-3 weeks later, here's a new one. And just doing that way, which is just a way to go. Like, that is what I should have been doing from the start. Maybe the 2 Let's Play system would have worked, where I had like a main and a backup where people didn't like what I was mostly working on, but honestly, I think just the one everyone who wants this has it consistently kind of idea, it works a lot better, in my opinion. Even if not everyone wants to see it. And I kind of just... It also just makes it more fun for me. And it makes notes not so much of a mess, because while in theory I have double the time, I'm also using up double notes. And that is depends on also how fast I'm going through, like, one Let's Play versus another. So that's another reason why I don't do 2 anymore. Another reason I didn't like the 2 system is because, like, it got to a point where I don't like leaving Let's Plays unfinished. The only one I ever didn't was my very old Mine Louise Dream Team episode, which only made it to episode 5. And I just kind of like couldn't handle multiple DS Let's Plays because on top of everything, I can only do those like on the weekends. But that's not kind of the point here. More to the point is, yeah, it wasn't until I started doing 2 Let's Plays at a time that I started having like some form of structure to it. And yeah, then there we are where we are today. I believe I did actually start using the capture pad while still doing the 2 Let's Play system. But I remember also though, there was a Twilight Princess Let's Play I was doing on the Wii version when I didn't have a way to record Wii with capture pad, so I had to like friggin' rush the final few episodes because I didn't want to leave it unfinished. And like I still do kind of prefer that because it's better. I do still find it better to have rushed low quality. Like I kind of do the rush. I almost said low quality. That's not right. Well, it is because of recording, the way I had to record those videos, but not so much the effort put into them. But rushed is definitely the right word. Where just having a kind of rushed series of videos kind of, to me, feels better than just a drop dead that just make it end without finishing it. So I did finish that one as quickly as possible. And yeah, that's all about my old Let's Play ways. And that's how we got here. And I have a couple of other small things I want to touch on, so I'll go into that now. So, first off, why do I make videos? And it's pretty simple. I find it fun. I can entertain people potentially, and quite frankly, whether it's being laughed with or laughed at, I kind of don't super care. Either way, I'm kind of just fine as long as I'm making someone smile. That's good by me. Preferably with, I'd like to be laughed with instead of at, but like, yeah, either way works. But either way, like, keep bouncing all around under my brain. Yeah, that's the main reason why I make videos. And on top of that, I'm just gonna say now, because there will never be a better time to say it, I will never use AI for my videos, ever. Like, I do have, like, very strong opinions on it, and I'll just say this. Yes, it can be a great tool in the right hands, but the majority of people are not the right hands. Especially the people, like, and a lot of people's, like, super heavily supporting it in particular are super not the right hands. So, yeah. And, like, I'm not even gonna claim my hands are the right hands. My hands probably aren't the right hands. I just realized that. My hands are not the right hands. And because I can't think of a way to, like, use it that isn't just soullessly ripping myself out of my own videos, which is, I make for fun anyway. Which is kind of obvious given I do, like, videos now that, unfortunately kind of dying, but, hopefully we'll never be fully dead? I say hopefully because, it definitely could, but hopefully it'll just, even if it's like, by, like, barely. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, so, I just wanted to, like, say that, like, I'll never have a good time to say that, but it's something I feel very strongly about. Where, just, it doesn't help that, like, every time I look at, like, the friggin', like, suggestion page, like, AI-generated suggestion page on, like, YouTube Studio, I get, like, a bunch of things that just garbled mess that doesn't make sense. And, like, I don't know, like, what it wants from me there, nor do I really care. Yeah, because again, I really only ever go to that page just to get a laugh, and quite frankly, lose some brains. But yeah. Just that's how I kind of feel about that. Just to put it somewhere. On a less sad note, though, just some of the other small things. How do I do collabs? Because that actually does have a slightly different process. Those videos only go out on weekends. Because holy crap, there is so much more effort, especially the current one on Maya Patty, and if you know, you know. And if you're watching this chaos, yes, I am calling you out. Not actually. You know why! No. Anyway. Not the point. What is kind of more the point, though? Because I still enjoy making those videos, though. Just not editing them. And yeah, that editing is why it takes so long. And my kind of thing with that is I'm only gonna... I did slightly change it, how I want to go about those is at most I do one per solo LP, which is like the main ones. Once per like main LP will I do a collab, and if it runs into multiple Let's Plays, it just is the collab for multiple Let's Plays. Unless that Let's Play is going to be more than 100 episodes, where every 100 episodes I expect the series to take, I'll do an extra one. Because, yeah. And also I only do one at a time, so like no multiple collabs. I don't want to do that. And I just don't. Because even just... And like there's not always going to be one going, for instance. Because like sometimes like not having one. And just doing only solo stuff. But yeah, they ain't gonna be completely leaving either, though. But I think that's everything on that. Yeah, that's how I make my videos. Why? Some personal things I refuse to use. How I go about collabs, which collabs... I did miss one thing. Those have little to no research. Collab Let's Plays. Or just collabs in general. Those get little to no research done, and it's more about having dumb fun. But, I think now that I've actually mentioned that, I think that's all? I guess for, like, one last thing, there's also, like, when going through Let's Plays, a lot of, like, some games there, I also, like, when going through picking games, it can also be difficult, because I do also, as a last thing to add in, actually. I probably already mentioned it, because I actually probably recorded that part after, but put it in before this. I think that's everything now. Since I definitely put that way earlier, even though I'm recording it after, because I forgot to talk about it. So, I hope you enjoyed learning about how I make videos. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye!